Welcome back. We made it to number 10. We are on double digits, y'all. This is very exciting, and it's kind of perfect that I'm doing a movie that came out back in 1996. I saw Scream in 35 millimeter at Nitehawk Cinema in Prospect Park, one of my favorite theaters. You know, even though Court Street and Linden are gone, and even Pavilion now, they're Nitehawk, but Nitehawk Prospect Park is probably my favorite theater in Brooklyn. But anyways, great time. This movie, the whole time I'm watching, I'm just like, man, the movie starts with a great intro, really fun characters, and a bomb ending. And it's just like, wow, this is all you want out of a movie. You just like hook me in, keep me interested with your characters, and then have a great ending. Like, this is the meaning of a solid ass movie. It's just solid all across the board. And Scream is a movie, like when I was like 10 or 11, I was afraid of this movie. I remember the first time I watched it, I was afraid. Ghostface, actually, I didn't like I was a little scared. Now, watching in theaters, and of course the audience is laughing, clapping at scenes. Like, this is an audience that loves Scream. We all are here for the same reason. But to watch it in a theater, I really hit home, like, oh man, this guy really did write Dawson's Creek. Like, this is a teenage drama about, reeling from this horrendous thing that happened, and then they're all trying to figure it out. But it's just Dawson Creek with murders. That's literally what this movie is, and it really works. The whole time it works. And also, this movie's not just like a love letter to horror movies, but a love letter to movies, specifically horror movies. But it's a really refreshing movie. And I couldn't even imagine this movie coming out in 1996, what this must have felt like, because you were getting like Jason Goes to Hell or Freddy's Dead, or Chucky, Child's Play 3. Like, you're just getting these random sequels, but this movie probably really was a breath of fresh air. And I love how this first movie sets the seeds of this universe within Scream. So Nev Campbell, David Arquette, Courtney Cox, and I mean, sort of, what's his name? I forgot his name. I think it's Jamie Kennedy. But it's like they created their own universe in here. And then even seeing Courtney Cox and David Arquette, like they're having their little romance in the movie. And it's like they end up actually really getting married. I think this movie has a lot of lore to it. And it's just really a lot of fun. I really enjoyed myself. And then, of course, every time, that ending, the last like 40-30 minutes is really perfect. There's so many. I love how Wes Craven, every kill, they show the hint to it. There's always a hint to it. It's never just like, oh, random kill for blood. Like, no, everything is perfectly crafted in this movie to make this like seamless circle. Really good stuff. And then also this time, I didn't realize how horny Skeet Ulrich was. As I'm saying, like when I was a kid, I was just like scared. I'm not really like paying attention. And now I'm like, this guy, he's like, come on, Sydney. Like, come on, give it up. It's like her mother was brutally murdered by you. And he's the a-hole guy that's just like, we were hot and heavy going from rated R to NC-17. That is like the dumbest line. Yeah, this whole movie is just movie talk. I think this movie really cemented that. Like, this is movie talk. Every line they're saying is movie talk. I even like the scene where he's like, oh, the obligatory tit shot. And literally they cut to Sydney like taking off her bra. I'm like, that's funny. Like that, there's things in here that are just like, it's a love letter to every horror movie made, but also movies in general. And I think, and I always say this, anytime Hollywood can self-reference itself, I think that's when it's like really amazing. Like anytime they're taking us behind the scenes or being a little tongue-in-cheek, I think that's when it really works, because Hollywood, it does have a lot of like iconography. There's a lot of like sayings, how we talk. A lot of this comes from Hollywood and like writers and movies. And when Hollywood actually makes something where you're referencing yourself, I think that really works. And that's why Scary Movie is so good, because they just took this Scream plot and just said, how do you insert a joke in that moment? And it really works too. And I loved how the original title for Scream was Scary Movie, which I think that would have been really perfect too. It didn't matter. Like, naming this movie Scary Movie would have been really good. Yeah. It was so good to see this in theaters. This movie came out in 1996. I was born in 1996, so I was not able to see this in theaters. But this movie is a movie that grown with me, and I love the series. And this is only the second Scream movie that I've seen in theaters. I only seen Scream 6, and now Scream 1996. I didn't see the other ones because I remember in Scream 4, I think I just didn't like how I went to movies. Was like, hey, if I have the money, if I don't have the money, I'm not going. And I remember Scream 5, I was very skeptical, and I was like, nah, I'm not. I thought it was going to be bad, and then I watched it at home, and I was like, oh, wow, this is really good. But this is only the second Scream movie I've seen in theaters, so it was a whole nother experience. Another thing I realized, too, with this movie, you know, with Kevin Williamson, and I was making the parallel to Twinless. I'm always going to talk about Twinless, 5-star film. Go watch it. How gay men write straight men in movies. These two teenage boys are idiots. Like, he's like, your mother was a whore and ruined my family, so now I'm going on a killing spree. It's like, that's stupid. And it's like, of course, a teenage boy would think that, and he would get his stupid friend who's like, I'm a little woozy here. Of course, he can get him online. It's like, that's not hard. I really am starting to see, like, I think I like when gay men write straight men characters, because they kind of show the stupidness of the patriarchy. Like, it's stupid. It's like any of these things. Like, it's all stupid. It's made up, and it doesn't benefit anyone except for white men. But that's another discussion. But these two boys are really dumb. Like, Skeet Ulrich really is just like, he's obsessed with sex, and he hates that, you know, Sydney's mother ruined his parents' relationship through sex. And then you have Matthew Lillard, who I find it funny where, like, he's like, oh, if you're gonna gut something, you just do, he's saying how to do it, and Skeet Ulrich is looking at him like, shut up. And it's like, they were always right there in front of us, the killer. And I think that's an underrated thing too about how they did this whodunit. Because it really does play well, especially when Sydney has the gun and she's in front of the house, and Matthew Lillard and Jamie Kennedy are like, no, Sydney, it's him. And it's like, that's a good scene. Because as I'm saying, I bet when this movie came out, it was like, wait, who is the killer? I think that's what's missing from the new ones. The whodunit is not as emphasized, and I think the whodunit really matters. But also, it mattered because this movie was layered. Like, through the backdrop of this movie is like, oh, Sidney Prescott's mother was, you know, a hoe. She was brutally murdered, and they actually don't know who did it. That is all in the background of this movie, and that kind of helps the movie have little wheels on it. That's what I'm saying. This movie is just really solid, and I don't think any slasher has reached the Scream height. The height that Scream got to, I don't think will be touched again. Because then the other movies still were doing like movie talk stuff, who done it, but they got too focused on the question of, remember when Skeet Ulrich says, you know, movies don't make crazy people. It makes crazy people like better ideas or whatever. They kind of went there too much. And I'm like, I think you're not focusing on, this is still like small town drama. teenage angst mixed in with a little murder mystery. That really works. Yeah, Kevin Williamson, he might be a GOAT for writing this script. Really good. I had a lot of fun. What else came to mind? I'm just trying to think like what. Oh, the crowd was really good. The crowd was, even though there was one part when the sheriff put out the cigarette, this guy all the way to the left of me, he just went, no. I don't know what he said, but it was kind of weird because like no one else laughed or said anything. It wasn't even a joke or played as a joke, but he just yelled something, and it made me feel uncomfortable. And I'm sorry, y'all. I went to Dark Knight Rises opening weekend. I thought of that, and I didn't like that. I was like, we're in a public space, and just that one thing made it uncomfortable. Like he yelled something. I don't know. Made me uncomfortable. But other than that, really had a great time. The 35 millimeter. Oh my God. There was a green line while it was playing. The coloring was way dark. And this was a print from Britain. Like this is one of their, because it said like, oh, the government of Britain, like, so this is how they got it in. I don't know. It was really interesting. So I thought, wait, is this a different cut of the movie? Because I know when they, make movies, when it's international, they'll cut up a movie different. There'll be lines that are different, but the movies pretty much seem the same. I don't think there was anything missing. But it was really good to see Scream in 35 millimeter with other Scream fans, and I had a lot of fun. I was laughing. My fiance was still like, I don't care, even though this movie's 29 years old, I'm still covering my eyes. I was like, nah, this movie's perfect. And then there were people there with like their teenage kids or like 12-year-old. I'm like, okay, like people are trying to pass on this, relic of a movie, but it still hasn't been topped. That's what I'm saying. Like as a slasher, I don't know what's better than Scream after 1996. I mean, the other Screams are like okay, but they don't reach this height. I just honestly think, and I know Scream 7 is coming out, but there's a little controversy with it because they fired Melissa Barrera because she stood up for Palestine, but of course they fired her for that. So I don't even know if I'm going to see Scream 7. I know people want to boycott it. That is a conversation. But Scream started a whole universe. So I am interested how 7's going to be. I know. It's something I'm thinking about. What else? Yeah, I had a great time. Also, Nitehawk has way better food. They actually have tofu. Shout out to Nitehawk. I got my rice bowl with tofu and my cider. A1. It was really good. But anyways, thank you. This is session 10. I'm excited. Yo, if I can get to 50 before the end of the year, we did it, y'all. We did it. But we'll see. Anyways, I had a lot of fun. I think the next movie is Anemone with Daniel Day-Lewis. And the last Daniel Day-Lewis movie I saw in theaters was Lincoln. So it's not like I don't think he's a bad actor. I don't know. Like I always say, the fans of the actor can sometimes ruin it. I think he is in that category for me. Like fans of him are just annoying. It's like he's a great actor, but you can be quiet, But we'll see. I'm not really excited for it, but I'm just watching it because it's free. So anyways, thank you guys. Like, share, subscribe. Scream 1996. Had a lot of fun. Shout out to Nitehawk. Peace.